Okay, so freedom of expression is again focusing on ethics. Remember, our topic is about we're talking about professional ethics as it may relate to um, issues related to the profession that is about IT. If you are engaged as somebody that is employed because of you are having gone through some training that is related to IT. So how do you handle yourself as far as ethics are concerned? And so freedom of expression, therefore, is an important issue also when it comes to this area of IT, because again, it is an issue of when we communicate certain information using the technology of IT. So again, we are doing this especially going back to the technology of IT. How does the technology of IT impact on, or how do what are some of the possibilities of using IT in unethical ways as far as freedom of expression is concerned? So let me just share this document. This document is not edited properly, so I've not put it at the portal yet, but I will finalize the editing that I'm doing on it and have it at the portal before the end of the day. So let's see. So as I said, I'm just highlighting a few issues, and I will let you access the document later. Once I have edited, I have done the editing and make it have the right content that I want to keep, or at least have it available to the student. Then you'll have it hopefully before the end of the day. So this is a document, and I think should now be displaying on your end. But before we do that, since we have just started another online meeting, so let me have a confirmation. Are we getting the audio also still there? Is the audio still okay? Let me have somebody confirm. Let me not assume we had a good one with the other meeting. So with this one, yes, it's okay. Thank you so much. Quite a number of you confirming that we are okay. Wanjira there and Linda and Alice and Mwang Gilbert, that's good. Thank you so much. So I want to believe that you can also see the document well. At least from this end, it looks quite visible. All right, so what do we have here? So let's see. Freedom of expression. So freedom of expression, I'm trying to make it visible. Now, freedom of expression is a very popular theme, especially when it comes to dealing with especially this is especially a very big concern with the political field, because the political field is where people want to be free to express themselves, make political statements. But of course, this can also be important for everybody, because again, if you are accused of doing something or say something, of course, you also need that expression, freedom to express yourself as to your side of things. What do you know about that situation that you are being accused about? So freedom of expression therefore becomes important to everybody. But of course, the concern here is that, so how much of this are we free just to express ourselves in any way? And of course, we realize that there are situations that are not really acceptable. Like if you go, insulting people all over, of course, that may be debatable. Should you have the freedom to go insulting people everywhere? So, of course, ethically, you feel that it is not right. But again, now that's where now the issue comes in when we're talking about something that is ethical versus something that is not legal. So there is a legal issues of the legal side of things and the ethical side of things. And of course, here we can only talk about, of course, we talk about things ethically. And of course, that's probably where the focus is in when we, as an individual. As an individual, you say, what is ethical for me to say when I say I want to have freedom of expression. But since you may not feel that ethically you are doing a wrong thing, we have also to go now the next step and say, is it illegal to do that? And so, of course, here we are especially looking from the side of what is illegal when it comes to freedom of expression. So, as I said, this document just highlighting a few issues that come to mind about this. Now, when we look at the American scene, this issue of freedom is very, is very popular with the Americans. The concept of freedom, of course, is important for everybody, but especially in America, there is this issue about freedom. And so these are what they call the First Amendment rights, is what you call the Bill of Rights. And so it is captured in what they call the First Amendment. And one of the issues that it deals with is the issue of the freedom of expression. Maybe I can read that part there. It says the internet enables a worldwide exchange of news, ideas, opinions, rumors, and information. So notice that the internet is ICT. All right, its broad accessibility, open discussion, and anonymity make the internet a remarkable communications medium. So it provides an easy and inexpressive way of a speaker to send a message to a large audience, potentially thousands or millions of people worldwide. In addition, given the right email addresses, a speaker can aim a message with lesser accuracy at a select subset of powerful and influential people. Okay, so then people must often make ethical decisions about how to use such incredible freedom and power. Organizations and governments have attempted to establish policies and laws to help guide people as well as protect their own interests. Businesses in particular have sought to conserve corporate network capacity, avoid legal liability, and improve worker productivity by limiting the non-business use of IT resources. So the right to freedom of expression is one of the most important rights for free people everywhere. The First Amendment to the US Constitution was adopted to guarantee this right and others. Over the years, a number of federal, state, and local laws have been found unconstitutional because they violated one of the tenets of this amendment. So the right to freedom of expression. So of course, some of these, as I said, I would just leave it to you to look at later once I edited this document and get it available to us. So when it comes to the law, now this might be important to read, although this is about the American Supreme Court. So you see, the Supreme Court has held that the following types of speech are not protected by the First Amendment and may be forbidden by the government. So these are some of those that are following types of speech. Okay, so there is a list of them here, which are may be forbidden by the government. Of course, in this case, the government of the US. And some of these, of course, have been borrowed by other governments as well, including our own government, although maybe in a country like Kenya, it may not be very, very strict, some of these things. But yes, the list says that some of the types of speech that are not protected include perjury, fraud, defamation, obscene speech, incitement of panic, incitement of to crime, fighting words, sedition, which is incitement of discontent or rebellion against a government. So two of these types of speech, which is obscene speech and defamation, are particularly relevant to IT. You know, obscene speech and defamation. So these are important when we consider IT. All right, so obscene speech, so it's discussed here a bit of that. So again, let me not take too much time detailing on this, but at least I know we know what would call obscene speech. And of course, it's they try to explain what, according now to the American law, what is obscene speech. So they say these three tests have become the US standard for determining whether something is obscene. The requirement that a work be assessed by its impact on an average adult in a community has raised many questions. So now again, actually, sorry, the above statement here are the ones which describe what is obscene. So I think I'll leave it to you to look at this later on. As I said, it's not yet on the portal, but I will have it at the portal in a short while. Okay, so yeah, so it explains what is obscene according to the American Constitution. Then there is a defamation again here. So it says the right of freedom of expression is restricted when expressions, whether spoken or written, are untrue and cause harm to another person. So that's what would describe as a defamation. So you say when the expressions, whether spoken or written, when the expressions are untrue and cause harm to another person, so that is called defamation according to the American Constitution. But as I said, most of these are also borrowed to other law, including the one, the Kenyan law. Okay, so freedom of expression, key issues. So again, here I don't intend to be detailed, I just highlight. So for example, some of the things that are key issues when it comes to freedom of expression include controlling access to information on the internet. So those issues raise a lot of debate. So a lot of these I'm leaving out. Just highlight a few issues of concern. All right, so another issue is internet filtering. So that's also a key issue that arises and creates a lot of debate when it comes to the use of internet and the ICT technology. So it says an internet filter is software that can be used to block access to certain websites that contain material deemed inappropriate or offensive. So sometimes the government do this internet filtering. So is it so in what circumstances should we do internet filtering? And I'm sure you can suggest quite a number. There is also, so I'm just highlighting key issues here without getting too much detailed. So because this statement they also says another approach to restricting access to websites is to subscribe to an ISP that performs the blocking. So instead of you doing the blocking yourself, maybe there is the ISP that you work with can do the blocking of the certain sites. Well, and it gives a very important discussion there. So all these parts that I'm jumping up and leaving, going to look at my next highlight. They are all very key, but I will also reduce the amount of that text. So another issue that comes up is internet censorship. Internet censorship is a different way of controlling access to certain information. So these were just right. Looking at the first statement here, it says, internet censorship is a control or suppression of the publishing or accessing of information on the internet. Control or suppression of the publishing or accessing of information on the internet. So there is also internet censorship. So again, all these issues raise a lot of debate out there. But sometimes they are important to be done. So, but what about the legal position? What does the law say about these particular things that different authorities might do when it comes to how we access information in the internet? Or what was something that we had said earlier when we were looking at privacy, going to the internet, what we can call anonymously, but which I think is more pseudonymous, because certainly you cannot go to the internet without some kind of an identity, but you use a false identity. So you can try to be anonymous. So again, that's an issue. So what do we say about that? And then, of course, you start maybe doing defamation, anonymously. So what do we say about all this? So some issues that will be very, very relevant. This is relevant to our unit, freedom of expression, but especially as it relates to how we use IT, and especially the internet in these particular issues. So I'm just highlighting so that you see what you'll be looking up to when you get this document. So hate speech. So what do we say about hate speech? And this sometimes people can express this in the internet. So maybe that open statement there I can read. In the United States, speech that is merely annoying, critical, demeaning, or offensive enjoys protection under the First Amendment. Actually, this one protects hate speech. So that's quite an issue there. Again, most of these issues, as I said, are debatable, but you can see that one is actually protecting hate speech. Interesting. So, okay, of course, we need now to check what about our Kenyan law. The issue of pornography is quite a major issue of debate, and but knowing, of course, the issues that it can raise in pornography. So there are issues that come up, and of course there are many laws actually prohibiting pornography, especially as it relates to young people and the children in particular. It is a hot topic, pornography, in terms of the law. What does the law say about pornography? So again, this discussion there, let me not read even the highlighted parts, but you will look at this, look for it when the document is written. And of course, you can be looking at these topics, subtopics from other sources as well. But I may think the good document will be very helpful. Now, there is also a topic called sexting. So sexting. This is another quite a major issue when it comes to the internet, and of course other electronic means. These can also say the internet and the social media, because these issues arise from all these various technologies that are available. All of them are ICT. We're saying how does ICT impact on the issue of freedom of expression? So sexting, sending sexual messages, nude or semi-nude photos, or sexually explicit videos of a cell phone, and of course other electronic means that the same can be done. So what do we say about that, and what does the law say about that kind of an action? So these are areas that I would like you to read a little more keenly and capture either from this particular document, which I will send later, or other sources if you have captured those particular subtopics and how they may relate to freedom of expression and whether it is acceptable. Is it an issue that is protected under the freedom of expression or not? And so what are the governments doing in terms of controlling those that may be harmful to the individuals who are practicing this freedom of, or who are doing this expression, or even those that are the target of the expression. So what are the governments doing about it? Now, I think that is just an introduction to this particular topical area, freedom of expression. And so I'm leaving most of the work here to the student. Get this document, read it thoroughly, and capture the debate that is given, and also the position of the law. Of course, need to also look for documents that help us to also understand the position of the Kenyan law on the same. So, which I don't have right this time. But as I said, most of the laws that have been enacted by a government like that of the US, which is older, of course, in terms of how they have dealt with some of these issues. Most of it is borrowed by our own governments, like the government of Kenya. Of course, it may be framed and phrased slightly differently to fit the culture of the Kenyan people. But of course, there are some laws that they borrow a lot from some of these more established governments, which have had to deal with these issues a little, further down in history. So that's all that I wanted to highlight as far as the freedom of expression is concerned. So this document, as I said, I'm editing it, and then I will have it at the portal for you to have it as a part of your notes. So we therefore are looking at two topics today. The topic on privacy of data, and also the topic on freedom of expression. So both of these should have their own notes. Now, the one of the privacy of information, there is already a quiz activity that I would like you to do before you log out. Freedom of, privacy of information. Now, this one of freedom of expression, I will be adding in a short while a discussion forum, which because of that it is not yet done, I will ask you to log in at some point and look at what it says and respond a little later. There will be a forum for you to respond to at the topic 7, freedom of expression area. So I would request you to log in a little later and also respond to that forum discussion. Just a reminder also that I already posted the assignment 1, which I would expect that most of you have already done. Just in case you have not done, make sure that you check and finally do your submission for assignment 1, which is placed somewhere above the topic 1 area. So somewhere at that general area above topic 1 space, you'll find the assignment 1. Then that one, of course, is for grading. It will account for your marks in the coursework, the cards and the assignments. So that's very, very important that you make sure that you have done very keenly and carefully, respond fully, so that you can earn full marks that will go to your coursework at the end of the semester, which is coming very close. Actually, already in week 8. So we have a very, very short time remaining before the exams are called upon. And so for today, that's all I wanted to give for our discussion for today. So I'm removing the share now. the document share. So that's all that we have for today. Unless there is a question, let's see now. Otieno O'Brien is not clear what you are asking. Does it have a limit? So Otieno, you may want to add some more words to your question. Yes, but you are also free to ask any other questions. Somebody else, any other comment or something that you need clarified. Yes, you were asking something about freedom of expression. Does it have freedom? That's or you saying does it have a limit? No, you have mixed it. Yes, does it have a limit? Freedom of expression? Yes. Maybe that we can open it up to the class to do some debating for a few minutes there. What do you think? How would you respond to Otieno Brian's question there? We can allow some students to respond to that as well. So what would you say about that? That's freedom of expression. Does it have a limit? Freedom of expression, does it have a limit? So maybe you can have a few of you responding to Brian's question. Yeah, it's good also to interact together, although it's online. We can respond online and do a debate there. Yes, Bravin says, yes, I think it does. Yes, so let's get some more. For Bravin, he feels it does have a limit. What do the others say? Yes, so Mogoiri is also adding some more there. It also have a limit. Yes, that's from Mogoiri. There should be a limit to the freedom of expression. Yes. Well, I think that's probably the general agreement that we have. But maybe you can say something more. So, in what reason or in what respect do you feel it should have some limit? Maybe you can add some more meat to that answer. Uh, what is one of the reasons why we can say the freedom of expression should have a limit? Of course, so I'm like adding to Brian's question, saying in what respect or why do we think the freedom of expression should have a limit? Why do we think freedom of expression should have a limit? Yes, so why do you think that freedom of expression should have a limit? Yes, somebody would like to add some more meat to our previous answers. We had several of us have accepted that it should have a limit. But so let's add some meat to that. Why should it have a limit? Yes. So anybody attempting to give that? Freedom of expression. So freedom of expression, should it have a limit? Freedom of expression. So why would we want freedom of expression still to have a limit? Although it says freedom of expression, be free, you're free to express yourself. But what are some of the reasons why we would want to suggest that there should be a limit? Okay, well, nobody has said anything yet on that one. Yes, Bravin is coming up with something there. It says, like, say, for example, deliberately lying to people. Yes, I think that's a very, very legitimate one. Lying to people. Yes, so that's one of the reasons why it may not be. I mean, you may not be allowed just to go lying. But the only challenge with that one is that how do we know that somebody is lying? That's an issue. That's a debatable issue. It's only the person who is, interesting enough is the person that is lying is the only one who can know that they are lying. Of course, they're also the person they are lying about, but in terms of who can tell us the right position, is actually the one who is lying. Because again, the one who is talking may say something, and then the one they are saying something about them, they say, no, this one is lying. And yet maybe it was true. So the only person that can really give us what is the truth is the one who is lying, unfortunately. So there is an issue, there is a debate there. Victor is also adding something. He says, I think it does not have a limit as long as one has a reasonable argument. Yes, well, that's also quite legit. But again, here now, Victor, the issue here might be just the law, because the law now may, of course, as we said, once we give the freedom of expression, the only way out for this issue now is a law, because sometimes when it comes to talking about ethics, and ethics is our feeling of a right and a wrong. What may be a right in certain communities may actually not be right in other communities. So sometimes it's not absolute. So the only thing that can be absolute is a law, because once a law is set up, like now in Kenya, if a law is declared, then the law now applies to everybody. So it's the only way that can help to judge and say, now this one is the limit. So, and I think, so again, there now the law might actually say, yes, this far you cannot go beyond. Yes, they have the freedom of expression, but yes, the limit is here. And so only the law can help us to keep the limit. But yes, one has a reasonable argument, maybe. So again, until the law is applied, and somebody now would have to argue against it and say, no, I didn't break the law. And then, so as Victor is saying, if you have this reasonable argument, then now that's an issue of the law, and the law might actually say that, yes, you did not break the law. Well, but so it's something that is important, but especially I'm thinking, coming to think about the issue of the lie. And unfortunately, many people have actually suffered because of lies. Sometimes it is reported there are people right now in prisons out of lies. And so what do? It's a lie, and somebody said, and they were able to give their own side of the story, and the lie has been accepted by the law. Of course, the law does not always lie, but it is saying according to evidence provided. And yes, out of a lie, some people are actually suffering. But yes, again, certainly, of course, a lie, if it is later proved that somebody lied, of course, then now that becomes an issue, which so you're not supposed to lie. Yes, of course, the law does not allow people to lie, but we know that people sometimes lie. So it's not because they have the freedom to lie, but because it is quite a debate as to how to prove that somebody does not lie. And Bravin is responding to Victor's comment. That's good. Thank you so much for doing that. And he says that freedom has a limit. You can't knowingly say things that cause severe emotional distress or incite others, just as an example. Yes, of course, we have, there are some things that are very obvious. And of course, as I said, this can only be helped by our law, because what one group of people thinks is not right, another group may find it right. So the only thing that can keep us at an equal position of reckoning is a law. So it means that you have to go before the law and argue your case that you have not broken an important limitation to your freedom of expression. Well, thank you so much, all of you, for participating so actively in this discussion and also the class time. So visit the portal and respond to the quiz question there. And also, as I said, later I will also have a forum discussion posted for topic 5. So topic 5 activity will be a discussion forum, which I will set up and have it posted before the end of the day, as well as these freedom of expression notes. I will have them posted before the end of the day. But otherwise, for now, that's the end of our lecturer's presentation for the day. Now, you need to keep encouraging your colleagues. I'm noticing that very many students in this unit are not participating actively in the big blue button discussions, and that is not very encouraging. So encourage as many of your colleagues. Very many are not attending, and that could create a problem for many of our students in this unit. They need to be aware of that, so that they are not penalized in some ways that may not be very comfortable towards the end of the semester. So encourage as many to be getting involved in the big blue button sessions, and of course, as well as all the other sessions all the other activities that we are doing online. But otherwise, for today, that's the end of my today's presentation. So I don't know whether Brian Otieno, do you want to say something by mic? Yes. All right. Okay. I think then we can call it a day for this particular session. Thank you so much, all of you, for participating. I want to say goodbye and have a great day ahead. Good afternoon.
Right. Yeah.